Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International, and we are streaming live on Vision TV 247 and other social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Noleen Abel-Ameh and my sign interpreter is Tayo Ozoma. Let's take the headlines. President Tinubu meets CEO of MasterCard Foundation, restates administration's readiness to create employment opportunities for Nigerian youth. Federal government to reconstitute National Stakeholders Working Group for Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Plus, and now to the news. Nigeria is now more than ever pressing for membership of the world's largest economic group, G20, as well as representation of the continent in the United Nations Security Council. These were parts of the bilateral and multilateral discussions as President Bola Tinubu received U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at the State House. State House correspondent Musbaud Wahab reports.
United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived State House Tuesday evening on his tour of 4 African countries of Cabo Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria and Angola. President Bola Tinubu is looking to shake up Nigeria, and this warm handshake will perhaps play a pivotal part. The giant of Africa is striving to consolidate its economy and ensure greater prosperity for its people, and so expanding the frontiers of bilateral relations with an existing partner like the US may come in handy. After about an hour of talks with President Tinubu behind closed doors, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister led the visitors for a briefing.
The discussions were very fruitful,
and the fruits are to manifest in agriculture, pharmaceuticals, security and technology among other areas of collaboration. But also pressing for the host country is its intention to get onto the global platforms of the G20, a United Nations Security Council, as it seeks the support of US.
We feel it necessary and deem it fit for Nigeria to be ably represented in these decision-making bodies. By some accounts, as many as 60% of the resolutions passed by the UN Security Council in one way or the other related to Africa. So Africa needs to be represented.
U.S. Secretary of State acknowledged the significant position and contribution of Africa in shaping the world and also recognized what he called real compelling opportunities in Nigeria.
Africa has shaped our past, it is shaping the present, it will shape our future. The United States is committed to strengthening genuine partnerships on the continent to work to solve shared challenges, and also to deliver on the promise and the fundamental aspirations of our peoples.
Blinken commended the bold economic decisions of Nigeria's government in creating a better enabling business environment, which he says big U.S. investors are ready to key into.
American entrepreneurs, American companies are eager to partner with and invest in Nigeria's economy, particularly in the tech sector. We have tech giants that are teamed up with Nigerian partners to help meet President Tinubu's 1 million digital jobs initiative.
The new areas of collaboration are expected to be further discussed at the upcoming Nigeria-US Binational Commission slated for March 2024. From the State House, Musbaud Wahab, NTA News. State House, Musbaud Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu says there is no intention to relocate Nigeria's capital to Lagos. A statement by Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, indicates that the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to relocate its Department of Banking Supervision to Lagos and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, was misinterpreted to mean relocation of the capital by mischief makers. The president says the status of Abuja as the federal capital has come to stay as it is backed by law. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed his administration's readiness to strongly support public-private partnerships aimed at creating dignified work and employment opportunities for Nigerian youth. The president, at a meeting with the President and Chief Executive Officer of MasterCard Foundation, Ms. Rita Roy, described Nigerian youth as vibrant, talented, eager to learn and ready to compete globally. President Tinubu commended MasterCard Foundation's initiative, which aims to create 10 million jobs for young people in Nigeria, noting that the program aligns with his renewed hope agenda for economic development and job creation. Acknowledging that God has blessed Nigeria with a vibrant youth population ready to learn and capable of competing in the global economy of the 21st century. The president said leadership is what is necessary and that the system must give hope and assurance to Nigeria's teeming youth population. President Tinubu also welcomed MasterCard Foundation's emphasis on digitization, recognizing the role of technology as a potent and indispensable tool against corruption. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, noted the wide-reaching impact of the MasterCard Foundation across Africa and its proven capacity to change the fortunes of human capital development in Nigeria. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Nglale, the MasterCard Foundation CEO, Ms. Rita Roy, informed the President that the Foundation's focus on education and financial inclusion in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, aims to impact 30 million young Africans by 2030. President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Paris, France on a private visit. A statement from the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Nglale, indicates that the president is expected to return to the country in the first week of February 2024. In other news, education and lifelong learning are essential to achieve a just and sustainable development in tackling inequalities through dialogue, solidarity, mutual understanding and cooperation, as well as participatory governance. European Commission's Vice President and High Representative Joseph Borrell said this in a statement marking the International Day of Education. Hamman Jabani reports.
Access to education is believed to be a fundamental human right, yet more than 250 million children and youth are out of school, and the majority of those in school are not acquiring basic skills like reading and writing. Statistics say an additional 44 million qualified teachers are needed to achieve universal primary and secondary education by 2030.
I appeal to all member states and education stakeholders to embed the principles of the recommendation in policies, curricula, teacher training and learning environments. Education must be adapted to contemporary phenomena, equipping learners and teachers with tools to address online hate, discrimination and injustice, fostering respect for diversity and human rights, and building peace.
In a statement to mark this year's International Day of Education, the European Commission's Vice President and High Representative Joseph Borrell says education enables individuals and societies to survive and strive and to be prepared for the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. He noted that together with arts and culture, education broadened horizon, allowing people, youth in particular, to imagine advocate and build different futures. He said education also play a key role in building and strengthening peoples-to-people ties and networks, and brings hope and protect those affected by humanitarian crisis and forced displacement. He said there is need to continue working so that every child and young person can access education, no matter who they are and where they live, building on the commitment of the 2021 Europe Year of Youth. EU promotes a long life learning approach for all in line with 2023 Europe Year of Skills. EU says it remains at the forefront of international mobilization for education in emergencies, with 10% of its humanitarian aid budget dedicated to education in fragile setting and supporting safe, inclusive and quality education for millions of children affected by humanitarian crisis and conflicts in 2021 alone. This support amounted to over £162 million. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Still on international scene, a court in Thailand on Wednesday cleared former Prime Minister and Move Forward Party leader Peter Lamjorad of violating election rules in the first of two cases targeting a popular opposition that has plans for radical reforms in the country. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
The Harvard-educated Peter, whose bid to become premier was ruined by lawmakers allied with the royalist military, was cleared of wrongdoing as the court held that the company he owned shares in had no broadcast concession and should not be considered a mass media organization. 8 out of the 9-member panel of judges ruled in favor of Peter, saying that since ITV had not operated since 2007, which is before he applied for the party's candidature, he had not violated the constitution. The ruling is one of two highly anticipated verdicts against Peter and the Progressive Move Forward Party that could ultimately see Thailand's party at the last election dissolved and criminal charges levied at its leaders.
Facts, legal basis, consistency of the legal system here in Thailand. If you look at the past, whether you determine it's a media company or not, it's not just the registration, but it's also the media, the revenue of the media, the license, as well as the bandwidth. And I think I've fought my case through articulation of facts and collection of facts, whether it's personal or professional.
Thailand's law bans members of parliament from owning or holding shares in media companies. As the biggest party in parliament, Move Forward remains a long-term threat to the status quo in Thailand, maintaining a hold among liberal and young voters through its charismatic politicians and creative use of social media. The same court will next week decide whether Move Forward's plan was unconstitutional and equivalent to an attempt to overthrow the democratic regime of government with a king as head of state. The two cases brought by conservative politicians are part of the two-decade battle. The two cases brought by conservative politicians are part of the two-decade battle for power in Thailand that broadly pits a series of royalist and old money families against parties elected on populist or progressive platforms. Supporters who had gathered outside the court chanted MP Peter, electors lending their voice in support of the 42-year-old Mr. Peter, while others mocked the election commission that brought the case to court. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
And elsewhere, tension on the Red Sea has continued to expand as the West accused Houthis of resistance as the group reacts to airstrikes targeted at them by the United States and Canada. Missiles strike from the U.S. downed 2 Houthi vessels in Yemen in the last 24 hours. Again, Kolo Mohammed has details.
The Red Sea Maritime Road, believed to be the fastest for industrial delivery to and from Asia and Europe, has come under fierce attack by a group who have cherry-picked ships to attack. While a few ships sail through without being attacked, others are not so lucky, as the group say any ship headed for a particular part of Middle East must be hampered. These attacks have been growing, and the effect of bringing livelihoods along the maritime roads to a standstill. To check this, Egypt has offered repair services for ships crossing the Red Sea amid tensions. Egypt's Suez Canal Authority will offer these services to mitigate the impact of the ongoing tension. The Houthi group has hijacked a number of ships carrying supply diverting parts of Europe, according to reports from the US and Canadian naval authorities. Nations of the world, including China, call for an end to harassment of civilian vessels in the Red Sea after the last attacks on ships by Houthi rebels in solidarity with a group in the Middle East. While talks are on in trying to arrive at an end of the crisis, the direct parties are regrouping to further upward review kinetic approach. While the Houthis are asking for assurance of the halting of attacks for peace to return to the maritime global trade route of the world, the European Union is calling on USA and Canada to operate more together in bringing the Houthis to their knees, as only then will the European Union have a warm winter and support other forms of livelihoods. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
If you just joined us, this is the news on NTA International. Let's pause here for a break. Stay with us.
Makes AFCON great, they say? You do. It's not AFCON without color, without the pride, hopes, and dreams of Africa. It's not AFCON without him, them, and the moments like this that we live for. Africa is what makes AFCON great, and that's why AFCON isn't AFCON without you. Experience all 52 games of the Africa Cup of Nations on GoTV, or stream it on the go with the GoTV app. GoTV. Love it.
The wait is over for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations is here live on AfroSport. Don't miss out on the amazing action, 52 live matches, Super Eagles updates and more. AfroSport has got you covered. Stay connected on social media for exclusive content, challenges, games, and live fan interactions. Your voice matters, and Fans Connect is your chance to be part of the game. Join the countdown, set your reminders, and immerse yourself in the excitement. AFCON 2023, where Africa's passion for football comes alive. Like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at fansconnect.club. Also continue the conversation on www.fansconnect.club. AFCON 2023 is live on AfroSport. Free sport lives here.
Thank you for staying with us on the news on NTA International. Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution has commenced a national campaign on the federal government's 4D policy on international affairs. The sensitization of the management and staff of the agency is to kick-start a campaign that will ensure effective representation of Nigeria's interests across the globe, with President Bola Tinubu leading the West African regional body. David Ire reports.
The 4D foreign policy doctrine is anchored on democracy, development, demography, and diaspora. Why? The democracy is aimed at putting an end to the unconstitutional means of taking over power, which is now on the increase in Africa. The development is to see a new dawn in Africa's economic growth, with Nigeria setting the standard. Demography is aimed at harnessing Nigeria's population to achieve a reasonable human capital development, while diaspora in the 4Ds is to boost Nigeria's foreign direct investment and positive imaging.
As an agency under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it's our responsibility to get our staffs, to understand what this doctrine is all about and what the 8 priority areas of Mr. President is all about, so that we can align our mandates, our work processes, programs, and activities to align, fundamentally with these policies, and then we can run with it.
The Institute is convinced that achieving these set goals will go a long way in checking crime and criminality in Nigeria.
This new administration is saying that this new policy that is being put in place will be able to open new economic windows of opportunities for Nigerians, and will also be able to project Nigeria as a major power in the international system.
Yes, we talk so much about these 4 Ds, but there are challenges for us to achieve them. Then, what are these challenges that we need to look into in regards to democracy? One of such is the issue of governance. Governance challenges to consider that can lead to conflict and insecurity in Africa.
The policy was launched by the Minister of Foreign Affairs on the 12th of December 2023. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
The federal government is set to reconstitute a national stakeholders working group for the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NTAi. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, stated this when he received international delegation from Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NTAi, based in Oslo, Norway. Kenneth Nanim reports that the SGF also reveals that efforts are on top gear towards amending the NTAi Act of 2007 to align with the Nigeria Petroleum Industry Act.
Nigeria, like other countries that belong to the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NTAi, undergoes validation assessment done every 3 years by the global body. Now, a delegation from the EIT headquarters in Oslo, Norway, led by the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NTAi, Dr. Oji Ubonaya Oji, is at the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, to deepen consultation following Nigeria's validation assessment of 2023. The SGF George Akume is emphatic that NTAi's report has been strategic and impactful in driving reforms in the oil, gas and mining sector in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
We have also found NTAi reports to be very useful in the areas of revenue generation, resource mobilization, blocking leakages in the system, and a dependable data resource in the country's sustained war against corruption.
The validation report, the AGF says, highlights strongly areas where the country has done well and assures the delegation that areas of improvement identified will be prioritized.
We've already directed the Executive Secretary on NTAi to come up immediately with a comprehensive plan of action to address all the corrective actions highlighted in the report. On our part, the federal government of Nigeria will provide all the necessary support to enable NTAi and indeed Nigeria deepen NTAi implementation because our country needs it most.
The SGF urges them to ensure every validation assessment is done in the country to promote collaboration and transparency. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
In other news, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has nominated a former clerk of the National Assembly, Dr. Olaide Abel-Ameh, as Deputy Governor. Dr. Abel-Ameh hails from a local government area of the state and a former governorship aspirant of the All Progressives Congress APC in the 2020 election. The governor has sent Abel-Ameh's name to the State House of Assembly for ratification. The former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, has been arraigned before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. Willie Obiano, who was arraigned on 9-count charges bordering on alleged money laundering, diversion of funds, stealing and corruption to the tune of 4 billion naira. The former governor pleaded not guilty to all the 9 counts. In view of his plea, Prosecution Counsel Silvanus SAN asked for a trial date while praying the court for the remand of the defendant in a correctional center pending the date of the trial. Counsel to the defendant, Onyechi Ikpeazu SAN, drew the attention of the court to a bail application before the court. While ruling on the matter, Justice Eko asked the prosecution to provide the particulars of the administrative bail granted the defendant by the EFCC, stating that the court will adopt the terms of the bail. He also ordered that the defendant's passport and traveling documents be kept in the custody of the court and the Nigeria Immigration Service be notified. Additionally, Justice Eko ordered the defendant not to travel outside jurisdiction without the permission of the court. The court adjourned the matter to March 4, 5, 6, and 7, 2024 for trial. Union leaders in ministries, departments and agencies have been assured of sustainability in the workplace and asked to leverage on mechanisms to avert labor contentious issues that require urgent attention to forestall the escalation of industrial unrest. This was emphasized at the Permanent Secretary's quarterly forum with joint union leaders in MDAs. Hamman Jabani reports.
And where you congregate the like of the unit chairman in the ministries, you are making way to ensure that there's industrial peace and harmony, because where there's interactions, there's also a feedback.
To secure a buy-in from the labor union concerning the innovative approach to the work process as enshrined in the FCIP 2025.
The platform was established to improve the synergy that will stimulate harmonious working relationship between the union leaders and government for enhanced service delivery. It also aimed at enlightening labor leaders on various initiatives of government on issues relating to general welfare of public servants. Permanent Secretary, Welfare Service Office, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, overseen by the Director of Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Comfort Adeosun, said the office will ensure its sustenance to consolidate on existing harmonious working relationship between government and labor in MDAs. Dr. Adeosun said all is set towards resuscitating the Permanent Secretary's quarterly breakfast meeting with national labor leaders, which is to strengthen government-labor relations. She said government will continue to do everything possible to improve the welfare of workers, guarantee healthy communication, as well as strengthen the capacity to develop on their mandate and well-informed on government policies and programs.
There are regular interaction between the union and the leadership. Any issues of concerns that has to do with the labor union are quickly addressed, and issues that can be escalated into having industrial strikes are nipped in the bud before it goes out of control.
The forum's meeting is taking place for the first time since 2019. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Next is a quick check on Thursday's weather prospect for Nigeria and other cities of the world. And that concludes the news on NTA International. Thank you for watching. I am Noleen Abel-Ameh, and my sign interpreter has been Tayo Ozoma.